Yo, GG here, Tyrell Limus, and as you can see on this video here today, there's going to be no gameplay. This is me showing you my gaming setup that I'm using right now in 2016, and I've had this for pretty much just over 2 months now with the addition of my new PC. And this kind of looks like an office in a way, a little bit different compared to my other ones. If you've seen my previous ones from the past 2 years, a little bit of a change in this one, but I really do prefer it. It just really allows me to just be comfortable when playing and just editing, video editing and everything. So I'm just going to talk about everything I use, the musts and the non-essentials, really what you need if you want to go into YouTube or recording or anything. So you can see this is my new PC, which is a pretty beast PC. Is absolutely massive. I got this from Novatech, and this is a custom built PC, and I'll try to run over the stats, or if you want to know the full stats, then just ask me and I'll put it in the description below. But from memory, it's a 16 gig of RAM, 480 SSD drive, the CPU, the graphics card, pretty much the stock one because I don't actually play games in this. I only use it for recording and everything. And what else? It's got Arctic cooling. Yeah, it's a pretty fast PC, and as you can see, those are my dongles which I use for my internet. So I use a Wi-Fi connection, about 40 download or upload at the moment, so that's pretty good. And looking at this is where I do my editing. This is on my PC. It's a PC screen. You can see it's my YouTube channel, so you can actually see it is actually me. And this is with a Acer Monitor, so just a standard monitor which I actually got with my old PC. So just a pretty much stock 122-inch, and this is my Razer keyboard. This is the Deathstalker keyboard, if I'm not mistaken, green, which I'm a big fan of, probably my favorite color. If anyone's interested in that, this keyboard just feels really nice to use, but obviously not essential. You could just get a stock one, and this is the mouse that came with it as well. Not quite sure what this one's called, the Goliath maybe, or something, but it's a pretty quick one. And that's me in my kart, my go-kart, when I used to compete competitively back in the day. So that's what I look like. So despite me using a controller, I will use it at a time. And this is the mic I'm talking into right now. This is the Blue Yeti Black Edition, and that's like the memory phone you can buy. So basically, instead of having a pop filter, I've got this. Works really well. Probably would get a pop filter as well, and I think that's something that is essential. Obviously the microphone's essential, but having that as well is pretty essential. You can get the Blue Snowball, which I used to have. You can pick that up for like £30-40, and that just pretty much does as good a job as this mic here. And you can see this is my Benq Monitor. So this is what I use to play on. And I believe this is a 24-inch, if I'm not mistaken. I think it is about 24-inch. That I'm playing on, just the right size for me to play. And you can see there's no wheel here, as I've been asked a lot of times what my advanced wheel settings. I don't use one. I use a controller. And you can see, zooming in again, Benq, which is, I can't remember the exact model, but if you want to know the exact model, ask me and I can find out for you. So we're going to go into this now, and what we're going to look at, we're going to look at my controller. This is the controller I'm using at the moment. It's just a completely standard wireless Xbox One controller. Nothing fancy about it, not even a scuff controller or anything like I used to have. This is just completely just a stock normal controller, so there's no wheel in sight here. And look at behind this, if you're not a fan of wires or anything as well, there's no wheel here. Just looking around as well, no wheel here, which people just keep on asking me, but I don't use one, and I'll be able to explain a little bit why I don't use one later on. So this is the headset I'm using, which I'm wearing right now as well. This is the Astro A40 gaming headset, and again, it's not essential. I would recommend using a headset though, instead of playing it through your TV when you're playing. But this is a really fantastic headset. It feels, the quality is absolutely top notch. The sound quality is amazing. The only bad thing about this headset, really, as I try and show you, that's an Astro A40, is that the chat or the mic isn't great quality, which is a little bit of a shame, but it's definitely well worth the price. It's absolutely amazing to use, and this is what comes with it. This is the Mix Pro amp, so basically you can control your game volume and your chat volume and the bass and the treble, everything as well. Don't really play around with it too much. Those are the settings I actually use, so if you want to look at those, if you've got this mic, that's what I actually use. So really good mic, worth definitely getting if you've got the money to get it. But again, not essential, because I used to actually play for my TV myself as well. But it just helps for me when I edit videos and stuff as well. It's just a great thing to use. And I can see that is pretty much my setup right now, what I'm using with the PC, which is working really, really well. Actually running videos in 60 frames per second on my gameplay now, and it renders it very, very quickly. But moving on, as you can see, the wire infested. I know a lot of people will be cringing at that. But it's out of view for my monitors. I can't sit behind my monitors. But we're going to move on to my capture card now, which is the HD60. And if you're into YouTube and if you're trying to run a YouTube channel and stuff at the moment, I think this is pretty much essential, that you really want to be matching. In a way, you want your quality to be as good as your other viewers, you know, the people who are doing the same kind of videos as you. I think 60 frames per second is pretty much the norm now, so that's definitely something worth investing, and it helped my quality out quite a bit. And you can see just running through the PC once again, a lot of wires back there. But with the essentials and non-essentials, I think obviously a mic's essential, but you can pick up a blue snowball, as we're looking at my fan here again, which I think is essential for me because the room gets very hot. And the chair, of course, the chair, which I just picked up from IKEA for like literally 40 or 50 pounds. Again, it's whatever you want. So I think the mic's essential, the capture card is essential, and you need a PC that can really go over 8 gig of RAM. That's something I would definitely recommend to obviously run the capture card software. And with the headset, that's optional, that's your choice. Obviously with the keyboard and mouse, again, you can just have a stock one. It's just whatever your budget is and whatever you're comfortable with. But if you want to ask me anything regarding that below, any tips or anything about myself, then just feel free to ask me something below. And you can see now here my trophies, and if you're wondering what those are for, those are when I competed in kart racing. So I know it seems weird for me to actually play on the controller, despite me racing in kart racing for a lot of years, almost like 10 years, pretty successful in it. And you ask why I don't actually use a wheel, and that's because I'm just so used to playing the Xbox on the controller. It just feels really comfortable to me, and I feel like I'm at a level where it's really comfortable. And if I switched over, wouldn't really improve that much. I think I would improve over time, a little bit maybe in the actual just a raw speed, but I'm just so comfortable with it. And to be honest, these games aren't a sim, as you can see me in there. These games aren't a sim. They're a little bit more arcadey, which I'm absolutely fine with. If it was a full sim, then I'll probably look to invest into a wheel. But from playing on the wheel in these games, which I have done before, it doesn't really feel anything like real life, if I'm being honest. And that's the reason why. And to be honest, I'm not going to stress myself out of just relearning everything again when I'm already so comfortable using the controller. And to be honest, I don't really have that much time, because considering I work full time. But you can see all my trophies here there. Most Promising Junior 2006, was Vice European Champion in I think 2006, 5 or 7, something like that in Europe. So yeah, I've been pretty successful in it, and we're just going to have a little bit of a look at the room now again. And yeah, that is my setup that I'm using right now. It's a Benq Monitor with my custom PC, the Xbox One at the back. And yeah, that is it. And just thought I'd give you a little bit of a tour of what I'm actually using. And also as well, for recording my voice, I use Audacity, which is pretty much the norm of what you have to use. And obviously the Elgato software, as you can see here, is actually changing on the screen now. So I use the Audacity. If you want to know the settings of my voice or anything, then you can obviously just ask me and I'll tell you. Or settings of my Elgato or anything for 60 frames per second, which I'm actually using Movie Maker still. As you can see here, you can actually render it at 60 frames per second as well. So that is just a tour of my room. Hopefully you enjoyed that little gaming setup I'm using here, and this is how I edit my videos. Want to ask me anything down below, ask me. Thank you so much for 15,000 subscribers, and I will catch you next time. Cheers.